ESPN.
Nation, what is going on? I'm here with my boy for the first time, actually, Patio Joe. I'm actually pretty excited for us to do our first show together. Joe, what's going on, man?
Not much, Stevie, man. It is our first show. We're the cash game guys, me, you, and Juan. We do the cash game. Juan does it on Thursdays. Me and you trade off during the week, and you got the weekend. So for us to be on the show together first time, you're more of a DraftKings guy, I'm more of a FanDuel, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too, for sure. I'll say that I actually had a rough couple days last couple days. I got like the things I shouldn't be getting right somehow. My pitching, have been trying some creative stuff and hasn't been going too well. So tomorrow is that big bounce back day. I'm actually super excited, man. These are the days where grinding on my computer all day. Slate locks. I'm sitting there with adrenaline until my first pitcher gets shelled. So it's gonna be a big day for me.
Yeah, I basically took Friday. I mean, I took Saturday and Sunday off. I played the morning slate today. Didn't do too well. It was kind of a weird slate. But Friday, I did really, really well. It was a wild slate, but my cash game put up 235. It was pretty much it was a wild night on FanDuel, and I had another tournament another tournament team went over 200. I was in like a slump for a while, and I just kind of went back to the basics. Well, that's what I do. I kind of go back to what kind of got me successful in DFS, and I started entering some single entry GPPs and kind of putting the donkeys aside a little bit, because in most times you're kind of just throwing your money away because you got those sharks in there so many times. So the single entry GPPs, I'll be willing to go up against the sharks because you think you can beat them with one lineup. So I went on a pretty good hot streak, and I've been going pretty well. So I'm interested in this slate on Tuesday. We got 15 games on FanDuel and only 13 on DraftKings. So it's going to be interesting. FanDuel, again, throws us a curveball and got us put the Yankees on for some reason. So gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited that if you're riding a hot streak and I'm going for my bounce back day, then we're both focused, we want to win, and let's click here. This will be the first look for us. So we're gonna start off with our cash games. SB1 wise, so you're mainly FanDuel, I'm mainly DK. SB1 on FanDuel, what do you think so far for cash games? First look.
I'm probably gonna go with Masahiro Tanaka against the Padres. Strictly matchup based. You got the Padres strike out the most against righties. Tanaka's at home. He's a big favorite, and I just feel like you're looking for the 6 innings, the quality start, 6 strikeouts, and the win. So, looking at some of the other high price options, I like them. I just don't know how safe they are for cash games on FanDuel. You got Strasburg against the Braves, and there's some guys that have some good numbers against Strasburg, and I haven't really played him much this year, so I'm not necessarily too high on him. And then you also have Boyd, which I love for GPPs, but I just don't know about cash games. So to me, it falls down to Tanaka just being pretty safe. What about you on DK?
So I wish we had that option of Tanaka here, because the top end on DK going down. We have Strasburg price SB1 against Atlanta, which is pretty rough. Frankie Montas, which we'll hit on a little bit after this, at 11-3, which is, I think, wild. I know we have a lot of truthers here, Wise Take, who love him, and I'm sure we're hear a lot of talk in the chat tomorrow about him and wanting to play him, but I don't think I can pay that price tag for him. Rich Hill going down 10-8, Boyd 10-3, and then Giolito at almost 10K there, which is wild to think. But where DK, the pricing is a little more strict, and there's not any super obvious SP1 right now, I'm kind of leaning towards Boyd. Like, Baltimore's been hitting a little bit now, and maybe Boyd's been kind of pitching out of his range, but I don't know, Rufford tier 1, he's been pretty dominant this season, man. Like, almost 30% K rate. His control has been there. Hasn't been giving up a ton of hard contacts, like fair rates. Where SB1's a little bit more tough there on DK, so I think I'll lean on Boyd and hope we don't see any good signs from that Baltimore offense tomorrow.
Yeah, when you look at the prices, just on like a price theory or when it comes to DK, Strasburg and Montas are just way up there, and you get a $1,500 savings from Strasburg to Boyd, and I don't think that is worth at least one more hitter in your cash game lineup tomorrow. But yet he's more safer than Giolito, who's $400 more, or $400 less. And then the guy in between them, Rich Hill, we talked about him before we started. Like, to me, he's a great FanDuel play at 8.8, but at 10.8, I just don't see it. I mean, the Mets do strike out a lot against lefties. However, there's no lefties in this lineup right now. There's all righties. So those righties are going to hit him. I mean, we saw it today against Kershaw. J.D. Davis when they put up 3 runs against Kershaw. They put up 5 runs against the Dodgers tonight. If it wasn't for Bellinger throwing out a guy at third and throwing out a guy at home, might have been a different game. So, like, the Mets, like, they're hitting better to the point where it's like a 10-8 on for cash games. I'm just not going there for Rich Hill. So, yeah, to me, it feels like almost on the process of elimination on DK, you'll just go to Boyd.
Yeah, I think you hit it perfectly there, too. And while Alex Strasburg obviously has, like, the K numbers still appealing for cash game perspective, I don't like that matchup against Atlanta. And same with Montas. Like, we'll talk about him when it comes to more GPP stuff, but I think Boyd's the first look cash game play at a cheaper price tag and a more appealing matchup out of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Now we'll go to DK, where SB2 is a little more relevant, and maybe in FanDuel you give us some of those cheaper guys there. Mm-hmm. What would you think for SB2 right now?
But yeah, when we started, I would say, like, right now, the guy that kind of sticks out for SB2s, there's 2 guys. One is Trevor Richards at 8.2, but the other guy is Marco Gonzalez at 6.9. He's just facing, it's strictly a matchup base. He's at home. He's against the Rangers, who strike out, I think, the second or third most against lefties. So you're looking for strikeouts. You're looking for, innings, and at 6,900 at going all the way down, he's the only guy that really is interesting to me, to where I feel like I can maybe attack him. Maybe I take a look at Max Fried at 8,100 on DK also, but there's nobody else that really, really stands out to where I'd be like, okay, yeah, I'm safe paying down for him.
Yeah, I'm in the same park as you. Marco is cheap. Texas run total isn't anything absurd. It's sitting at 4.4 right now. So for a cheaper price tag, like him. Other 2 guys I'm looking at are both sides against each other. Where you got Samardzija and Trevor Richards too. Both these teams have super low run totals, 3.7 for the Giants and 3.8 for the Marlins. They're both priced around the same. Looks like we got a little bit wind blowing in actually too in that favorable ballpark. So it's kind of one of those plays where you get 2 poor offenses and mediocre pitchers right now and a decent ballpark. So I think they're going to be fair SB2 options. Not anything, of course, I'm going to love, but at the price tag and the ballpark, I'll take a fair shot in them.
Yeah, with Samardzija, it's funny. He's the type of pitcher that, like, these Marlins, they're pesky against guys like DeGrom and Scherzer, and they don't make value. But yet, when guys like Samardzija goes against them, he winds up shoving it, and winning the slate for you. So, yeah, I see what you're saying about Samardzija. He hasn't been as bad as he was last year. So I'm cool with that. And it's another matchup base. We all know what these Marlins do against right-handers, so I'm cool with that too. There's nobody else, I think, on the SB2 option that we really need to get into, I don't think. What are you looking at GVP-wise on DK?
So now this is where I think more of those top-end pitchers come into play, like Montas. DK, he's certainly expensive. I know you said he's like 9.2 on FanDuel. Mm-hmm. We definitely hit on him a good amount during the pre-show. I'm so torn what I want to do with him. My thing is, like, I'm a big anti-truther. When everyone's on him and loving him, and I'm almost that guy that wants to be like the one to go against him. And tomorrow is definitely that day where he's priced up, going against the Angels who don't strike out a ton. Like, I don't believe, I really, his splitter looks amazing and everything, but I can't believe he's this great off just like a pitch mix change. But the price tag is enough to deter me away from him. The matchup isn't easy. But again, maybe that's why I should be hopping on him when he proves me wrong game after game. I know you hit on some solid points pre-show too. What do you think of him?
I mean, for me, when it comes to Montas on FanDuel, he's way more attractive. He's 9.2. He's like a $2,000 saving, so it just makes it easier. And I looked at him and I've seen the success. I've seen what everybody says, but I've also seen 2 starts against Cleveland and 1 against Detroit, and then another against Pittsburgh. Like, those are his last 4 starts. Those are 4 or 3 teams that their offenses are not very good. And then they faced the Red Sox. They knocked him around. He didn't even get 5 innings. Then the Rangers, then Houston. Like, he pitched okay against Houston, which is fine, but I just don't like. He's also faced these Angels once before. 6 innings, 6 strikeouts, 1 earned run. Put up a 43 on FanDuel at 9.2. That's okay. That's not winning you a slate though. To me, I like the guy right above him on FanDuel just a little bit more, and that's Giolito. He's, has been showing his potential. His last 4 starts, 56, 52, 30, and 64, 9 innings, complete games against the Astros. He's a GPP option just because we've also seen bad Giolito too. But to me, he is probably my favorite GPP pitcher of the night up top. I love going against the Royals. And he's at home, and he's coming off of one of his best starts. So that's who I'm into. What do you think about him?
It's unbelievable what he's doing. It really is. The price tag's up on him, but I mean, even a small glance of game logs show how dominant he's actually been for the White Sox so far. I don't mind the price tag because I think he's going to go way over. I mean, I don't mind playing him in tournaments because I think he's going to go way overlooked in that price range. He's been getting a steady hike. Like I remember on the season, I think he opened around like 5K or so, and now he made his way up to 10K, which is crazy. That's when people start falling off him. But he's performed in even tougher matchups, like against Houston. Even when he versed like some of those tougher teams, like Boston didn't get shelled, and he actually played the Royals last time, and it's when he had the dirt cheap price tag at 5.3 on DK. He did great against them, ended up with 28 DKP. His K stuff has been there, and his pitch count is up. We see close to 110 pitches on him. I don't really see a reason to be afraid of him in tournaments anymore, where I used to absolutely hate the guy. But again, when I don't really love Montas, Rich Hill isn't my favorite. I like Boyd a lot for cash games and tournaments, both formats, but I don't have a problem playing Giolito when I don't love that top tier, and I think he's going to go really overlooked.
Well, and plus the top tier, there's not really. I mean, Strasburg's like up at the top, but like, I don't think Strasburg is like a top tier pitcher anymore. Like, he's like right below them. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just hasn't proved it to me anymore. And I used to be a huge Strasburg guy. He went to San Diego State. I'm from SoCal. He's good talent, but he just hasn't hit that ceiling that I think everybody thought he would. So, I mean, he's probably going to pitch great now because I marked him down, but I just look at
that's my job. I mush everything, man. You'll see that tomorrow now, but
yeah. So to me, it's like, what about like other GPP options tomorrow, like in the mid tier, like David Price, Martin Perez? Any interest in those 2 guys? I mean, Perez has been one of the best rebound guys of the year. And Price is coming off an illness, but I mean, it seems like he's going to be okay. Any interest in those guys?
I don't think Bundy is going to make for the worst GPP play, where he obviously has been a lot better to righties, and like the only couple lefties in the rest of the lineup aren't threatening at all, and like Stewart and Goodrum. So there's strikeout potential in that lineup. has decay stuff against righties. Again, I'm not really afraid of those lefties there, and another name no one loves to play. So Bundy at the price tag, I think he makes for a fair tournament play. What do you think of him?
Yeah, I mean, you're once again, it's a matchup base. You're going up against the Tigers, who don't hit very well. So I'm with it. He's low. He's way down below. The two guys that I wanted to ask you about down below in GVP options or on FanDuel or DK. Once again, these are strictly matchup based. First guy, Clayton Richard, facing the Rays. Rays strike out the most against lefties. Clayton Richards, we know, is not a very good lefty. However, I've seen it to where he can be serviceable. And at 5'9" on FanDuel and he's 6'2" on DK, he's kind of interesting to me. And then the other guy is Eric Lauer facing these Yankees. We saw what Strom did today against the Yankees, striking out, I think it was like 10 guys or something in 6 innings or something like that. So, I mean, he gave up like 2 runs or so. He did okay. And I've been a Strom guy all year, but the Yankees strike out the 5th most against lefties this year. And Rays strike out the 1st most. So any interest in those two guys down below, especially to be able to pay up for anybody you want.
So in terms of Richard, I can't play him until we hear any definitive answer on a pitch count, or he only got to 50 pitches last game. Even if it gets like 65, I don't think it's worth the risk on Richard to play him. Lowry, of course, we don't have on DK, but he's been known to give up. I mean, at least this year, he's given up a lot of hard contact fly balls to righties, and that Yankees lineup starting to get healthy again. It was a lot of those hard hitters back. There are some K opportunities in the lineup, especially like they have been striking out more 2 lefties, which is odd. But I don't know if I could take that chance on him when they do have all the hard hitters back and allowing a ton of fly balls. And how cheap is he on FanDuel?
He is 6'9". So I mean, he's pretty much down there. I mean, if you look at the other guys, like Clayton Richards 5'9", and he's 6'9". Samardzija 6'6". So it's like those are the 3 guys that are really down. Like those are like a FanDuel. I like to always have one lineup where I just pay down a pitcher, pay up all the hitting spots I like. You know, if you want to pay up Coors tomorrow, whatever. You know what I mean? Like this is where you're gonna go. You know, so I like
scary because Samardzija at the price tag's nice, but otherwise going all the way down, like under Samardzija, under like Marco Gonzalez, who's an option. There's that bottom tier, which I'm sure is gonna leave you some options for stacks. There's no one else really under there. Like, even if you look at the White Sox, you want to target him and take a shot on Brad Keller. Like, he's fucking been bad, bro. Like, his walk rate's almost exceeding his K rate this year. Like, I can't trust him. Sensatello just got rocked and going into Coors. Like, Zach Davies, who people liked for a while, is starting to fall off now. Had one bad game against the Reds, who he should have done well against. Now is versing one of the best offenses in baseball. I don't really see a lot in the bottom tier where I do like always getting at least that cheaper, especially in DK. You go cheap SV1 and SV2, get as much cores as you want, but it's going to be one of the more difficult slates to do that.
Yeah, I feel you. Any other pitchers you want to talk about?
I think that's really it. It's talking about how bad some of these bottom tier pitchers are. I think it leads us right into some solid stacks. So start us off. What stacks do you see that you like a lot?
I mean, to me, God, obviously we got to look at Coors. It's, you know, they have 2 pitchers, you know, Sensatella and Merrill Kelly, that I think we can pick on them. We also got, I like the matchup in Seattle against Adrian Sampson. To me, he's the guy that really stood out. Besides the Coors was attacking Sampson and this bad Texas bullpen. First look, that's the one spot that really pops out. Everybody else, it's kind of like you're going to have to really dig into who you really, really like. I mean, obviously this Corbin Martin guy against Chicago, we know. Obviously, maybe we can look at Brad Keller. We can attack him too. But Off bat, Coors in Seattle lead my list. What about you?
I'm right there with you too. Cores, we have another huge total where Rockies are approaching 7 runs again, and Diamondbacks right there at 6 runs. There's always cheaper pieces in that Rockies lineup, but they're able to target too, or like Tapia, Dahl, Murphy's been cheap. To really outside of like Story, who I can't even say that fucking name, where he cursed me against Hess and 5 strikeouts, and man, that murdered me. But outside of like Story, Arenado, with Blackman out, like they're not really too expensive. So I think it's possible to get some cheaper cores exposure. Like I said, outside the cores, you got 2 teams here or 3 teams really that have bigger run totals: the Astros, Twins, and the Mariners too. With the Twins, you're still kind of paying those premium price tags where majority of the lineup is sitting around like 5K or that upper tier range. Marwin Gonzalez is cheap, so we'll get to him and we give us some of our cash game value later. But Houston and the Mariners aren't really priced outrageously for those run totals, where most of those guys are sitting in the mid to low fours for both teams. You always got guys like Gilly Gurriel, who are easy to fix, the MPE and DK, and those cheaper price tags and these bigger totals. So I'm all aboard the core stack, Mariner stack, and Houston. And yeah, Houston stands out a lot to me too with those price tags.
Here's the one game that I'm looking at here that Vegas seems to like. Both teams are over 5. Is St. Louis at Philly. We got Wainwright and Pivetta. Both teams over 5. Wind's supposed to be blowing out. Might be have a little bit of rain. I could see that going off. Both bullpens. Philly bullpen isn't very good. St. Louis ain't bad. So also the Red Sox. But it looks like we're gonna have rain though in Boston tomorrow. That game could be rained out.
That's the only thing that's keeping me off that huge run total for the Red Sox.
Mm-hmm. And then like the thing about the Twins. Like, they're facing Davies tomorrow, and, like, his last start was he got rocked. He gave up 6 earned runs, but until then, he only given up 2 earned runs in that was the most that he'd given up in any other start was 2 earned runs. So, like, I don't think that, like, we should just full on, like, have a full stack of these Twins tomorrow because Davies has been pretty good to where he might hold them down below their run total tomorrow. And at first look, I'm not necessarily on the Twins tomorrow. And I'm usually a huge Twins guy, as you ironically. So.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you too. I remember, like I said, the guy got creative the other day. I think it was against the Reds. I forget who they're playing. I played a lot of Davies against them, and I had a lot of hater against them. Davies definitely didn't work out because he got chilled, but outside of that, I remember he had like the second or third highest or lowest ERA in the National League for a little while. Like, he wasn't known. I don't think he was ever really the most appealing DFS play for a little bit, but he was always wildly consistent and pitched well. And yeah, like everyone saw the regression was coming, but it's not something I'm running to stack right away when their Twins are so expensive still. And maybe Davies can kind of subdue any damage that the lineup has in how explosive they are. Anything else? Like, what other offense? Like, I usually trying to find an offense that's like a cheaper offense that I'm interested in, just so it helps me on DK if I want to like do double pay up options. Is there anything right now that stands out to you that like you might be able to force in as like a cheaper stack?
Well, I mean, I know on FanDuel, I was actually just going to bring that up, and we already brought them up, but the Mariners on FanDuel are pretty cheap. Let me read you some of these prices on some of these Mariners. You'll be interested. Okay, so nobody's over 4K. We got Haniger's 3.9, Vogelback's 3.5, E5 is 3.4, Navarez is 2.9, and Kyle Seager's 2.9, Santana's 3.8. Down below, Malik Smith, who had 4 stolen bases, is 2.3. He had 4 stolen bases tonight. You hear that?
That's unbelievable.
So JP Crawford 2.7, like that right there is one of our favorite teams, and they're cheap. So they're probably going to be very chalky tomorrow too. At least
Definitely.
on
Those price tags on FanDuel too sound so nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know about how they are. How are they on DK? It looks like they're somewhat more.
I mean, they're
fullbacks
priced up a bit, but like nothing outrageous. Like I said, like comparing them to some of the other top offenses on the slate that have those big run totals, they're really not expensive. Coors is all expensive on the Diamondback side at least, and you got some of those cheaper Rockies. The Twins are super expensive, and like I said, like I'm not dying to target against Davies, where most of them are 5K or above. The Mariners all sitting there like Haniger at 4.6, Vogelbach's a little expensive at 5.2, but otherwise like going down to like E5, Darvish, like Santana, they're all sitting around like like mid fours, and the bottom of the order, like you said too, is dirt cheap. Like Malik Smith at 3.5, like I'll love that, and he just helps you be able to create that stack so much easier. And I never am afraid to play the wraparound there, so he's gonna be. Like you said, I'm sure he's gonna be fairly chalky, and that's chalk I won't be afraid to eat.
Definitely. Any other stacks we want to talk about first look?
First look, I think we really hit all the stacks I see. Unless you have any other stacks you like here, I think that's where we plug ourselves a little bit. Yeah. If you're not with the nation, now's the time. MLB is where the chat is always popping off. If we all data junkies, everyone loves numbers, and the best part about MLB is there's a million ways to go. So you're gonna hear a lot of different opinions, but that's what gets the brain going. So hop in for a day pass, get all the content outside the Slack chat, and it'll pay itself off within the day. Highly recommend it. Give us a shot. Promise you won't regret it there. That will move right into our cash game core. So give us an SB1 on FanDuel again, who you think, and I'll start us off with DK.
All right, SB1 on FanDuel right now. I'm just going to go with Masahiro Tanaka at 9.6.
Yeah, and DK, like I said earlier, I'm going to go with Boyd as my SB1 stud hitter.
Stud hitter, I'm going to do it to you. I'm saving this for you, Stevie Brown. I'm doing it for you today. What if I told you I had a guy with 48 at-bats against a pitcher, 4 home runs with a 4?
Oh, man, this has to be planned or something.
That's right. Freddie Freeman.
I swear to God, this whole thing had to be a setup where the BVP was known for a week, and oh, God.
Popping in Freddie Freeman at 4K as my stud. 4 home runs against Strasburg, 466 WOBA, 48 at-bats. I mean, that's right there, sample size, okay? I'm not talking about 10 at-bats. We're 48 at-bats, sir. So it's not like
sample size. I'll give you that.
Okay? So it's 4 home runs, 466 WOBA, okay? I mean, what else do we need? We're just going to lock him in tomorrow in a big slate. Freddie Freeman, 4K. Who you got?
Oh, man. I got set up there. I'll take some of those Coors pieces as my stud hitter. I'm going to go right to David Dahl batting third there against Merrill Kelly, and at a fair price tag. Maybe he's not a stud. If you want to really go like a true stud, then give me Vogelbach at an expensive price tag against Sampson. But I like Dahl a lot, a cheaper price tag. A value play. I think we both have the same one in mind. We just talked about it a little bit. Who's your FanDuel value play?
Oh, no, you said, because I thought I maybe came up with somebody else, but you go.
I was just saying Malik Smith. I like him at that cheap price tag.
Okay. If he was leading off if he was leading off, I would say completely. And if they move him up, then I'm going to say yes, 100%. But I was going to say, because cash games, I like to stay as much as I can, 1 to 6 if I can.
Yeah.
I want to go with Kike leading off 2-7 against Steven Matz.
That's actually, I like that a lot too.
Yeah. Yeah, 2-7 on FanDuel. Second base, I always like to normally pay down at second base on FanDuel. Generally, I mean, sometimes you want to maybe pay up for like Altuve or somebody, but normally I like to there's a good value play usually. Kike should be leading off. That's my value.
Yeah, I like that a lot. One other value play too, Dexter Fowler, like the cheaper price tag, leads off again, so that's fine. Got our pitcher, got our stud hitter, our value play. We'll move right into our top threes. We'll start it off with pitchers. Roll overall on the slate. What do you like for the pitchers?
My favorite pitcher on the slate is Giolito. My second favorite pitcher on this slate is Masahiro Tanaka, and then third, I'm going to go with Matt Boyd.
Yeah, I like Boyd. I like Bundy, and oh man, do I want to say I'll go Giolito too. Stacks, top three stacks. What do you got, Joe?
Arizona, number 1, number 2, Seattle, and number 3. It's tough right now. Number 3, I'm going to go with the Phillies.
Yeah, I'm going to have the Rockies. I like those cheaper price tags. I'll agree with 2 of the Mariners, and then I'll try to give something a little different here. Let's go with the Rays. I don't think we really mentioned them much, but against Clayton Richard, who used to be pretty awful and didn't look bad in his first start, but obviously didn't look great either. It could be a bigger pitch count too, so I'll take the Rays in my third stack.
All right, yeah, I don't mind. You know what else? I think the Dodgers might go a little bit under the radar tomorrow night.
Yeah, and I'm looking at least on DK. Like the majority of the lineup is pretty cheap there. Obviously, Cody Bellinger is not going to be part of that cheaper core in the lineup, but Justin Turner was a notorious lefty masher. He's fair priced at like 4K on DK. You said Kiki Hernandez. I like him a lot. I'm with you too. Maybe like that.
You think about it, like if you think about it, like Muncie's not going to play. Probably Peterson's not going to play. So those are 2 of their top 3 highest players. Seager might not even play. Verdugo's not playing. So it's like you're going to get guys like Kike at 3,400. You're going to get David Freese at 3,700. Chris Taylor at 3,200 tomorrow, and Bellinger. So they're actually pretty cheap on DK. Also, very affordable.
Yeah, I'm right with you there too. I think you sold me on them. All right, last part of the show. Lead us off with Dong Watch.
Yeah, Dongs of the day. Usually, if you want to remember the order, we go pitchers, stacks. You go pitchers, tits, and dicks. You know what I mean?
I like that. Pitchers,
tits, and dicks. Okay, so a home run tomorrow. I'm gonna do it. Freddie Freeman.
Oh man, I have to really, really root for him not hitting home run just to.
If he does, we're gonna go.
Listen, if he hits a home run, you could dig into me all you want because I'll deserve it.
There you go.
Oh God, the BVP truther is gonna be coming out everywhere tomorrow, but. Home run. I'll go Vogelbach.
I'm going to go with somebody. I'm going to go Omar Narvaez. I want to go somebody else in that game. I'll go Narvaez.
All right, I'll take and just to reiterate too, I am kind of ignoring that Red Sox team just because we do see some harsher weather there, and if it's anything right now as an indicator, it looks like the game won't play. But keep that in mind for tomorrow. If they're going to play, they are definitely an appealing team to target. But I'll go back to his Phillies big run total, and for a cheaper price tag, maybe he finally starts to do something this season. I'll take Bryce Harper.
Nice. And then I'm going to go with JT, Justin Turner.
Justin Turner. Give me Eddie Rosario.
Oh, yeah. I love Eddie Rosario.
I love all those lefties on the Twins. I like a lot, like Polanco, Kepler, Rosario. Like anytime I can afford them, I love playing them.
Yeah. I love Rosario. I play him every week, at least once or twice.
I think it's gonna do it though, Joe. Any last words to close us out here?
No, man, it was fun, man, doing a show with you. You know, it's good. Usually it's just like me or CK, me, Paulie, and, or my son, Cam. And now that I know that you're like the same age, geez. It's like,
Oh God,
I'm like the grandpa. I don't know how old Thunder Dan is, but I'm like the
I
grandpa
think he's like
of the West.
65 or something like that. I think he told me.
He's older than me then. He's older than me. I'm going to be 42 in about a week or two. So,
Happy early birthday.
Thank you. So, take us home.
Yeah, Joe, it's definitely fun. Like I said earlier, guys, if you're not part of the nation already, now's the time you want to join. Definitely get in here. That's really going to do for the slate. Pay attention to the weather for the Red Sox game and have some fun with it. That's going to be it. Thanks, guys.
Peace.
Yeah.